Yeah, so this prompted a warning from health experts that the extreme temperatures could prove fatal. For more, we're joined by Dr. Zach Turner. Zach, good to see you again. In this time of extreme heat, who is at most vulnerable?
Well, definitely the elderly and the young. Again, I mean, people are bringing you up and talking to you about having the windows down in your car. And for the most part, people looking out for other people in these times is a really good thing. If you do live next to a neighbour with kids or next to a neighbour who's elderly with these really hot temperatures, it'd be great to just go knock on the door and just make sure that they're doing okay, or if you know of your neighbours who have a dog or something like that as well. Because it does get really, really hot. I grew up in the back of Burke, and that gets scorching hot, so it's making sure your neighbours are safe as well.
Yeah, a lot of people will obviously flock to pools and to beaches to try and cool off. So what are some of the precautions they should be taking?
Definitely. So try not to be at the beach or in the sun during the hottest parts of the day. That's just silly. So try and treat yourself to a movie. Go to the shops and chill out, go to a library where it's cool, stay at home where you can use your own aircon if you have that. And if you don't, ceiling fans and different circular fans are great as well, but buy a little $1 squidgy sort of spray mister thing, and that is really, really helpful.
A nurse told me the other day that if you put a fan on, you soak a sheet, a towel put underneath, and that's like makes the room much cooler. But you know, speaking of water, some people say you can be overhydrated. Like you think I need to drink lots of water. So how much is too much? Well,
that's dependent upon you, but if you're going to be drinking lots of water each day, and especially when it's hot, make sure you have it with some other electrolytes. So make sure you combine it with either some fruits, some oranges, or if you can get some of the electrolyte drinks. They're also really important because you need some of the salts and some of the sugars, because otherwise you can have too much. There's such a thing as too much water, and that's really dangerous as well. So when you are in these hot temperatures, if you are starting to feel nauseous, if you're starting to get cramps, they're good signs early on of having some water. But when you're doing that, make sure you combine that with some electrolytes as well, because it's really important.
Dr. Zach, what are your top tips for beating the heat this weekend?
Top tips, so there's a whole lot. So 1, get a buddy. Make sure you look after your buddy. 2, stay out of the sun if you can.
Tick.
You guys are well onto this. I think
we're permanently buddied
I would get something a little bit more furry potentially to tie you together. But eat healthy. Don't have big heavy meals because they're going to increase your metabolism and cause you to get hotter. Decrease your alcohol. Decrease your coffee because they're diuretics as well. So eat really healthy. But like my dad just called me today, he's been shaving our little dog, and he says it looks like a little whippet now. But finally it stopped panting. So look out for your animals, look out for kids. If you've got a lot of back hair, maybe it's time to get the shearers out and stay cool. So some of those tips are great, and try and get into places where it's going to be cooler for you. So.
All right, good on you, Dr. Zach. And a reminder, look out for the one another this weekend. It's really hot. People in Adelaide were all over my Facebook last night saying it was like 42 degrees at 6 o'clock.